Way to start. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's Friday Digital Edge. And today we're going to say something simple. Let me simplify the AI conversation for you. You don't need AI everywhere. You just need AI to do something, right? Maybe it's a very simple process. Maybe it's a very simple conversation that you're trying to manage inside of here, but you just need it to do something. I'm going to tell you, we think AI and we think these broader scopes, you see all these great demos and ads and great information out there that people are doing with it, and they are doing it somewhat successfully. But for the everyday person, the everyday schmo agent, whatever you want to say, does not need to do all this crazy stuff. When you get there and you're ready for it, great, you can use it. But I just want you to just handle some of the basics. John Maxwell tells us to become extraordinary, you master your strengths and manage your weaknesses. And that's what I think AI is great for. I think AI is great for managing those things that we don't do well. Now, it should not replace our major responsibilities per se, but it should be replacing some of those nuanced tasks that have to get done based on those responsibilities. So today I just want to walk you through, I think, 5 of the smartest ways we can, as entrepreneurs, as leaders, can get through and use AI right now. And this will happen without losing judgment, accountability, or trust. So let's get into it. Again, one of the things I want you to make sure you understand when we're talking about this in here is I want you to look at this from the perspective of, I want you to rethink about what you're doing with AI today. I do think a lot of people get very frustrated with it. They get very nervous about it because they just don't really understand where it sits today. And I'll be honest, the reason I'm talking about this one right now is Boston Dynamics actually just showed us a new robot. But what they didn't show you was the demo. There was a person actually controlling that robot from the back end. It wasn't AI. They say when it gets to production, it will be there. But right now, that's not what was happening. And I think we only see the front-facing thing. We don't see the magic behind the scenes. So we don't always understand what some of these quote unquote AI experts are doing right now to make things magical, right? And I want to demystify that today. And I want to demystify it for you because I think AI is extremely powerful. I think AI can do a lot for us as long as I've told you many times this month, we're intentional and we're very direct about what we're doing and very consistent about what we're trying to get done. You get that done, it can move forward. And once you have mastered that, you're going to be able to do other amazing, magical things with AI that will make you more effective in business, not less effective. So here's what I want us to think about with this. I want us to come in here. And if you guys are joining on my live session, you see this. I know I'm doing this a little earlier than normal, but if you do this as my live session, you want to comment, please do. I am here to communicate with you all and chat and do all that stuff. So that's what we're here for, to do this live. But these are quick hitters, so I'm probably going to miss most people today. I want you to use this for clarifying thinking. Much of December, and I've got really intentional goals this year for my business. And I'll be honest with you, it's the most clear that I think I have felt in a very long time about what I want to do, how I want to get it done. I knew the things I wanted to do. I knew the stuff that I wanted to be doing, but I was always having a hard time visualizing and putting this into place. So the first thing I really want you to think about doing is, how are you going to use AI to clarify that thinking? I used it quite literally as my brainstorming buddy. I literally was coming out there and using it to control the conversations that I was trying to have within my own world inside of here. And that was really helpful for me. It was really helpful to put that out there. And I literally just took on it. I said, take on the persona of a brainstorming partner And we got through with that. By the time I got done, I knew who my audience was. I knew the conversations I want to start having at a more consistent level. Now you got to put a little faith into it, because again, it knows that you're doing this, but I'm coming out there, and I had most of it done within a day, but it took a little bit more refinement, because I came back and then I let it sit and I let it digest into what I saw. And I came back and then I clarified some more and I did that. So it took me probably about a week to get it all the way through. But that partner now that I had was magnificent. It's got me an outline. It's got stuff out there. I am starting to ready to communicate with my customers and clients at all times to make sure they understand what I do for them and how I can help them grow. And it has helped me. It's really transformed what January has traditionally looked like for me. And I'm excited to see what the rest of 2026 looks like. The next best part I love about it, and I think most of us are probably doing this to some degree or another, is let's talk about the drafting of communications, right? Those emails, those newsletters that we send out, the videos that we hopefully are putting out there. I can use this to communicate with that. I would start with our emails, maybe our newsletter, put that in there and start perfecting that conversation. Any AI model, you can do this: ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, Copilot, whatever one you're using, you can use. And I will always tell you, use the tool that you are already using today, or the one that is most consistent inside your platforms. So that's where I would be with that. But those communications are great, right? Because you can just write, and I would never have it write. Let's say email. I would never have it write the email for me, but I would always write the email in there and then say, edit it and make sure I am hitting motivations or inspiration, or, whatever I want to make sure I communicate with them, make sure it's in there, put it in a friendly tone, put it in a business tone, professional tone, whatever you want to do, make sure you do that and let it go. Now, I'm going to tell you, when I start talking about this type of technique, I want you to make sure you understand you still have to be the editor. You're still going to have to go through and make sure it sounds like what you're going to do. And actually, everything I tell you inside of here is always going to be that. You're going to have to be that last look before you copy and paste anything, because while they are writing it for you, it's your quote unquote words, and it needs to sound a little bit like you. There's techniques. You can always reach out to me, and I got other techniques for that to show you how to make that happen. Step 3, reduce that blank page, right? When we're trying to figure out what social media post to do, what we're doing out there, I love using this tool, AI, to kind of be my research buddy, right? Go find out the motivations, desires, fears of my audience, my clients, whatever. I can use it as a research buddy. I can go through and review that stuff. Now I can tell it to start building that social media content. And I can look at it and I can just have faith. I will tell you, it has eliminated a lot of my stress. Last year, when I struggled, it would write full video scripts for me, and I would do it. And I'll be honest, I test things very so often. So when I come back and talk to you all, I can tell you what's working and what's not working. But it helped me a lot. It helped me get past certain challenges that I was having in my business. Now this year so far, I haven't had that problem. So now I just use it more of an outline format, and I can talk to you all and hopefully get through. But it is a great way of bringing that blank page, that writer's block that some people may have in our business. I will tell you, it's even really good when we're talking about the blank page stress, that we can actually use it when we're getting ready for like a listing appointment or a consultation of some sort. We can make sure we get that out there. Or even when my fellow leaders in the room, when you're doing your leadership works, various places, that before you go to those meetings, the conversations you're going to have and how you can phrase those conversations. It can be great to alleviate that kind of conversations. Now, 4, reviewing. I love it for this. I will tell you, one of my favorite things with this is I'll build a lot. I'll build a lot of things. I will come in and build my marketing solutions. I'll build whatever. And one of my favorite prompts is critique what we have. Tell me the good, tell me the bad, and any suggested edits. Now, if you're going to do that, you usually have to have some sort of business model, business tool set that you want to use as a evaluating process, because otherwise it's just going to pick what it wants to do. But you're going to want to have that in that place. But when you can do that, now it does great, and then it will edit and review. And you can do this a couple of times to clean up whatever you've missed. Because again, when it's writing stuff for you, creating information, it's just creating. But you use it to be that editor, that reviewer, that critic inside of here. It's going to be extremely helpful. And I also like number 5 here is supporting consistency. So one of the things I also love inside this place, thank you all when you guys come in for joining. But I will also say one of the things I love about this is consistency. Now it's a pro and a con, because if you're not consistent with the tool, you're not going to get consistent results. And what I mean by consistency, I don't mean you come in today and you don't come back in it for a couple of weeks. Although I will tell you, the more consistent you are with it, the better you're going to get with it. But I will tell you, the lesson I learned, and I think if you haven't heard it yet, you will hear it soon, is I need to stay focused and work on one project and finish it before I move on to the next. In the world of what I do, that's not always easy to do, but nonetheless, I need to make sure I do that. That's part of the consistency that I like. That's the con of it. But the pro for it is, if you're using this often and often enough, it helps you stay consistent. I have actually used this to be my assistant, my non-paid, overpriced assistant, where I get to come in there and have my tasks, make sure I'm on task, make sure I'm doing what I need to be doing. Like I said, when I brainstormed early on, now I know exactly the things I got to be doing, who I want to talk to, the communications I need to be having. All that stuff is now in place for me, and I feel much better, and I feel more consistent in what I do. I will also tell you one last trick I'm going to tell you, because I actually heard stats. One of the best uses that we're seeing people use for AI today is role-playing, and role-playing is very helpful. I had a couple of years ago to do a presentation, and that presentation was great, but some things had to change on the fly because some of the things that were happening in this conference changed at the very last second. Well, I already had my presentation given to him. My PowerPoint was all there, so I couldn't change that. But what I could change is how I communicated what was on those pages. So I used AI to be my role-playing partner, and it made it a very large success. I was very comfortable on stage, and I was very good. You can do the same thing when you're in front of your clients, role-playing those critiques and being ready for those conversations. Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good day again. If you have questions, let me know. It's in the comments. I will see them. Now, so here's what we did. We just told you 5 ways that we should be using AI right now. Those 5 ways are: use it as your brainstorming buddy. Use it to build that up there, have it out there. It'll bring clarity for you, because it's objective, not subjective. Use it for drafting those communications, emails, newsletters. I think is always a really good way, especially when you want to be able to effectively communicate whatever you're trying to do, motivations, inspiration, lead generation type conversations, whatever it may be, you can have it out there. Also use it when you feel stuck. I called it the blank page stressor, but when you're out there, you can always make sure that you are in place using it to help create that new content. And the nice thing about it is it has a natural way of doing deep research inside the systems, and it's available for you. So don't be afraid to use it for that. I also like number 4, reviewing and refining work. It will help you make sure to be consistent. And I think it's a great critic, because if you put models in place so it knows which ways it's trying to critique things, it can actually clear a lot of conversations up. And again, the pro and con, it helps for consistency. If you're consistent, you will get consistent results, and it will help you stay consistent in the system. So I hope that helped for you. Here's what I want to leave you with. AI does not need to be doing everything for you. It needs to be doing the things that you're not great at, right? Grow your strengths, manage your weaknesses. And all I want you to do is find the one thing that you want to focus on and master that and move on to the next. When you use AI to support your thinking, improve communications, reduce the friction, it becomes an incredibly helpful tool. But you, yourself, leadership still owns the outcome. Use AI where it helps you think clearer, work better, and lead everywhere else. Thank you all. If you do like these things, again, always please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, because as you see today, I'm usually a little bit later on Fridays, but I can't always guarantee the time, but I will get them in. And I would hate for you to miss anything. If you ever have comments, put them in the comments if you're watching this later. Tell me how you're using AI today, what your best practice is. Love to see what you're all doing. Can't wait to see you at the next session.